Hi, I'm Merlin Tuttle, and I'm reporting on our trip from Caracas, Venezuela to Esmeralda, a frontier savanna hundreds of miles past the last vestige of civilization. Here we're loading tons of expedition equipment onto the plane, and here we've arrived in Esmeralda. We landed in a partially flooded savanna. Obviously we had a lot of equipment to unload, and the conditions were anything but welcoming. It was very hot, humid, and if you notice, you'll see guys swatting gnats. The no-see-ums were biting something fierce. It was so inhospitable that the crew practically begged us to get back on the plane, go home with them. They didn't see how anybody should ever have to suffer that for months without contact with the outside world. But needless to say, we opted to stay. And here we watch our last contact depart. This is Cerro Duida, the north face in the background. Here we are pushing tons of equipment in a handcart across the partially flooded savanna. Beginning to load our first of our two 50 and 55 foot long dugout canoes. I had flown out months in advance and contracted with the Indians to specially make these two canoes for our expedition. Here we've got the first one loaded and we're pushing off. Headed down the Orinoco River toward the Rio Cunha. It was very comfortable as long as the boat was moving fast enough to stay ahead of the biting gnats and keep us cool with the breeze. It could get pretty vicious as soon as we slowed down enough for the gnats to catch up. That's because we're on a whitewater river there, and the gnats are much worse on those kind of rivers. This is the second of our expedition canoes up front, and some of the wildlife along the way. This is a pet parrot that we accumulated in our first year in Venezuela. He traveled with us just about everywhere. Our next destination will be Berlin.